Hello everyone, in the next video from Flashpoint campaign Southern Storm, and today we are going to start a new scenario. So last time we finished Quietly Flows the Donau, which was part of very small scenarios, and looks like we don't have uh, more left, which means that we have to switch to medium size scenarios. And here we have couple of those. We have a final push, an autobahn too far, cross-checking, high-sticking, once more onto the bridge, overture, Panzers forward, regulars forward, and the Great Escape. I really like an autobahn too far, which corresponds to the movie title, which was a bridge too far about Operation Market Garden. But today we will start a final push. The scenario starts at 2 p.m. 14:00, as you can see, July 23rd, 1989. This is a 6-hour scenario on the Bad Windsheim map. The scenario has a total of approximately 67 units, which is a bit more than in case of small scenarios. We can even check it. Yeah, Quietly Flows the Dono is 47 units. Brother in Arms 45, Hunting in the Woods 49, and so on. So let's go back. The scenario has a total of approximately 67 units combined between the 80s United States versus 80s Soviet Union. So that's great. We are going to play as United States, of course. Lovely. And now let's quickly read a description of this scenario. A final push, 23rd July 1989, 14:00, Bad Windsheim, Germany, US versus Soviet forces. After the successful link-up of the 7th East German Panzer Division and the 39th Soviet Motorized Rifle Division, it became a question of when would that 39th Motorized Rifle Division start its launch towards Nuremberg. Recon informed NATO that the 39th Motorized Rifle Division was reorganizing its forces. It was assumed that this meant that NATO could expect an attack towards the city from the west along with a pincer movement from the south by the Czechoslovakian forces, eventually linking up with the Soviets. This would not only isolate Nuremberg but also pocket a substantial number of NATO forces. Not wanting to be second guessed, Pact Command was thinking along different lines. The delay caused by the 39th Motorized Rifle Division having to reorganize made the attack towards Nuremberg a problematic affair. NATO defenses had solidified to such an extent that there was a real danger of the 39th Motorized Rifle Division being wiped out without getting anywhere near its objective. On the other hand, the attack on the Fulda Gap was showing great promise, and this was the determining factor on their decisions regarding the 39th Motorized Rifle Division's future operations. At the 39th Motorized Rifle Division's HQ, there was a substantial degree of worry. There was some cautious optimism after the linking up with the 7th Panzer Division, but they were conscious that the 39th Motorized Rifle Division had been seriously mauled in previous actions. With second echelon forces arriving, they hoped that they would now fall into a support role. It was not meant to be. They were instructed to do at least push west. At least to do at least. I'm sorry. They were instructed to do a last push west. In what was seen by them as a sacrificial move, the division was to attack towards Bad Windsheim. Deep reconnaissance showed a void being created between the NATO forward defense forces and the reinforcements. The 39th Motorized Rifle Division was to exploit towards this hole. Their objective was to create as much chaos as they possible, and as a secondary objective to exploit in depth. Their much battered regiments, having been consolidated and reassembled, once again were ready to plunge head-on into the NATO defenses. Bad Windsheim had so far been a quiet area. The US 1st Armored Division had taken responsibility for the area in the early hours of the war, but as the 39th Motorized Rifle Division pushed deeper, the area's defenses was taken over by the 3rd Infantry Division. The 3rd Infantry Division was in the peculiar situation that operational boundary forces find themselves in. They had to keep an eye on the US 5th Army operations to the north and on the US 7th Army operations to the south. Stretched between two different axes, the 3rd Infantry Division assigned the Bad Windsheim area to their 2nd Brigade. The area had no particular claim to fame with regards to objectives. The main attraction was that an attacker entering through the northeast had a covered approach to the road network to the west of Bad Windsheim. For a defender, there was little value in holding the covered approach since it was strategically insignificant, even if tactically important. Since the road network had open countryside to the west, it was much more tempting to set up an extensive kill zone covering this area. Beautiful, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I like really the last paragraph. Okay, let's proceed. Style of play, computer opponent, you will be player 1, NATO commander. Battle planning options, random selection. Let's proceed. Difficulty, Gronard. Let's proceed. And let's see what we have here. Okay, I guess it's a Brigadier General Barnes. Welcome to the final push scenario. You are commanding NATO forces and have 6 hours to accomplish the mission described in your scenario briefing. Uh, your forces are composed of 9 groups of units. Blah blah blah. We know what's being said here. You are responsible for a total of 6 Recce, 2 Hilo. Oh, interesting. 14 tanks, which is a company. 39 APCs. I hope those are IVs though. We will find out soon. 30 infantry, 8 self-propelled anti-tank, 6 anti-tank, 23 HQ, 5 air defense, 6 self-propelled RT, 50 utility and 80 depot sub units worth 8,000. Wow, this is double of what we had before. 8,194 victory points. Remember, these assets are all but irreplaceable. Good luck. Of course, we are proceeding. And now let's zoom out. Oh, interesting. The placement of units is interesting. We'll move it to the right for now. Okay. So we have quite close our objectives. Okay, I guess this is my recon. Indeed, this is a reconnaissance section. Whoa! Hello! I love those vehicles. And they are equipped with TOW 2. Beautiful. Let's see. Here we have Bad Windsheim. We have road. Wow, there's plenty of different objectives. Which means that we have to switch our... switch. Mm, dissolve our forces along the line. Another thing is that, let me switch to a different unit so I don't need to see that bluish color or purple-ish color. The problem is that there is no much cover along B470 highway. That's something I'm quite worried. Let me move it to the right. Hmm. Of course, we have plenty of ridges south of Bad Windsheim, and those positions would be perfect, especially for my Bradleys and tanks. The problem is that, well, okay, let's see. Southwestern objectives can be quite easily held by my forces. I can set up defense positions along those hills. This is Schlossberg? Schlossberg Hill. I can even call it Hill 500 if I want to. And then we have Berg, Enselberg, tough. Uh, yeah. So we have 2 hills, plenty of ridges, plenty of forests. Those are very, very nice positions to defend. On the other hand, we have quite a bit of urban areas around, and those, of course, ridges along the south and southeastern border of the map. Then we have the Bad Witzheim itself. We have some ridges north of Bad Windsheim. The problem is they do not provide. Well, I think we would be in most cases out of range. That would be a good position for the observers, but that's about it. Okay, so now let's find out where are the enemies. This is a crucial question. No victory status, I don't care. Ops. So let's start with the mission briefing maybe first. Let's see. Okay, that's how it looks like, the map. And now let's see. Uh, Brigadier General Barnes. Situation. Warsaw Pact forces continue to push westward. The Soviet forces have slowed down. However, it looks like the 39th Motor Rifle Division is ready to move again. Okay, this is also usually quite, maybe not annoying, but it makes the pronunciation inconsistent. So here we have 39th Motor Rifle Division, where in the brief we had 39th Motorized Rifle Division. Of course, it's the same, but I feel like I prefer Motor Rifle. It's shorter. Motor Rifle Division. Hmm. Maybe this is not accurate. Of course, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's continue. It looks like the 39th Motor Rifle Division is ready to move again. They are looking at finding the soft spot between two US corps. Last time it was an army, but either way. The B470 highway, that's the highway here, you can see that one where I'm clicking right now. Okay. The B470 is looking like a key corridor for both sides, and it is expected that the Soviets will attempt to swing south of Bad Windsheim. They will be trying to secure the junction of the B470 with Autobahn 7 or 7, and the junction is here. So here we have a junction. So I guess yeah, we can easily defend it. At least that location. But let's continue. Mm, is that a first company of 15th mechanized battalion has been ordered into the area to stop this advance? We have way more than a single company, so I'm not entirely sure. I think we have a battalion force, or battalion size force at our disposal. Based on what I can see, we have A company, we have B company, yeah, or maybe this is the company reinforced element. That's why we have so many. Well, actually, I would say it's a battalion forced element. Whatever. Mission: contain the Soviet advance along the B470. CCO is detached, whatever it means. Aviation support. An attack helicopter section will arrive at 1700, so in about 3 hours, which means that half of our scenario we are without closer support by helicopters, and this is fine because I expect Russians to have plenty of air defense systems, so that's fine. Okay, map overlay. Doesn't say much. SITREP. Nothing interesting. Engineering, air support. We don't know too much about that. We only know that the cloud sailing is around 1290 meters. Okay, emitters no. And mission capable sapiens. That's fine. Okay, let's close it. Now let's switch to intelligence. Threat assessment. Threat brief. Intel reports indicate that the Soviets are pushing along the B470 with elements of a motor rifle regiment. Expect to see at least 2 motor rifle battalions and 1 tank battalion. Tank battalion. This is quite a massive force. At least 3 companies, which means that that's going to be around 40 vehicles, different different tanks. I'm wondering also what kind of tanks. I guess they are going to be either T-72 or T-80, most probably. We'll find out. They are supported by regimental artillery. Okay, this is not great. Groups from 2 motor rifle regiments. They will also have some attack helicopter support and possible closer support. Dear God. And they will have plenty of it, I guess. And that's how it looks like. They are located east of Bad Windsheim, somewhere in that area. So I guess the objective in Bad Windsheim will be lost immediately. Despite the fact I can place some of my units in the Bad Windsheim. You can see it. Look at that. Okay, those units not, but the units from Company A, I can place them in Bad Windsheim. What kind of vehicles you have? Bradley, Mike rifles, Dragon, 40 mm Mark 19 GL, 7.62 M60 MMG. Hmm. I don't know whether we want to hold the Bad Windsheim. This is the urban area. It's always good to hold the urban area if possible, because it provides plenty of cover. On the other hand, I would need to put the whole company, I guess, which is, well, including air defense. What we have here, we have Stinger, which is not the best idea. They can easily wipe me out. Now that's the question, what to do. Okay, we'll think about it later. Let's go back to intelligence. That was a threat brief, threat assessment, enemy SITREP, intelligence summary of active enemy assets. 30 to 40 reconnaissance subunits, 1 to 10 helis, 40 to 50 tanks, yeah, that's a full battalion, over 80 armored carrier subunits, over 80 infantry subunits, 1 to 10 anti-tank subunits, 20 to 30 headquarters subunits, 20 to 30 air defense subunits, 30 to 40 self-propelled artillery subunits, 10 to 20 artillery subunits, which are mortars, I guess, 30 to 40 utility vehicle, and 1 to 10 depot and 1 to 10 aircraft subunits. Okay, I'm worried about the aircrafts. Hmm. Okay. Anything else interesting in that? Okay, electronic warfare is very low on both sides. Then we'll start inflicting medium electronic warfare burden on them. Okay, that's fine. We don't have any off-map assets. The question is, do we have any artillery units? Okay, we have mortars company. So 6 mortars, 107 millimeter. Uh, this is not this is not as extreme firepower. And I guess that's it regarding my artillery support. Jeez. Hmm. Despite having plenty of different forces, this is not something I would like to have. I would prefer to have way more artillery. Of course, we have those beautiful M1 A1 Abramses. Uh, their 120 millimeter M256 medium tank cannon is of 5 kilometers range, which is quite a lot. And which also means that I can place my units along those ridges south and southeast. The problem is that I have to get to them, and I'm not sure whether enemies won't do that too. Since they are Russians, I guess they will try to follow along B470 highway, honestly. They will try to push through the open fields. And they will try to push very, very hard. Which means that I shouldn't risk too much. Now, okay, those are my recon forces, and they are equipped with Bradleys. And those Bradleys have TOW 2, and TOW 2 is of 3.5 kilometers range. No, wait a second. 3.7. That's a lot. I just cannot lose them. And if I don't want to lose them, I have to keep them. at good positions and also covered by my air defense systems because, well, my manpads are not very effective against air support. Against helicopters, absolutely. Against bombers or any other type of air support, planes in general, they are not effective. I mean, and that's because they are manned by people, and those systems are just too slow. Planes are too quick for manpads. Of course, you can do it, but it's really tough, and usually you have to rely on the information coming from other units, so you can prepare yourself for the plane to show up, and then you have just a few, maybe a few seconds to fire your manpad and try to hit that plane. But this is extremely hard task. So, uh, okay, wow, that's gonna be a fair challenge, and I have dilemma now because I don't know whether to put some units in Bad Windsheim. Actually, putting a single company and just waiting here for some time before we engage. That could make sense. Unless they are stationing in Bad Windsheim itself. That's going to be a disaster for us. If I uh, if I concentrate a full company here, they will be easily visible. I don't know whether it's a good idea, really. Hmm. Let me think about that. But maybe let's first go through available assets. So we'll start my HQ, which is the, I guess, battalion HQ. Oh, it's not a battalion HQ. This is a brigade HQ. Huh, interesting. Of course, you have American headquarter company, but this is a brigade element. Okay, of course you are out of combat for most of the time, but it's good to know. Then we have our our sub element. So let's start with A company. Let me take a look at the HQ. Single Bradley M1113A1 for transportation purposes. Fair enough. And then we have first platoon, American infantry platoon, four Bradleys, each equipped with TOW 2. Hmm. This is big. TOW 2 is really solid weapon. Okay, lovely. Then we have mech rifles with M72 low. We have also 40mm grenade launcher Mark 19, 7.62 M60 medium machine gun, and one M47 Dragon 2 though. So this is the better option. What's its range? It's kilometer, which is fine. Okay, and that's the American infantry platoon we have, and we have three of such platoons under single company, I guess. Yeah, I guess they are exactly the same. Indeed, they are. Okay, cool. Then we have some additional support element, and that's self-propelled anti-tank platoon. They are equipped with TOW, 12 rounds each, 4 vehicles, which gives me 48 rounds per platoon. What's the range? 3.7 kilometers, same for TOW 2. Okay, beautiful. That's a really solid unit as long as you can keep them covered and far away from danger. Okay, and that's also the part of every company, A, B, and D. We don't have C company. Okay, D is something else. Is it a tank company? Yeah, it is. So we have two companies of mech rifles. Let me take a look. That's a B company, first platoon. Also four Bradleys, three standard mech rifles, and three additional or auxiliary elements in that platoon. Okay, those are strong platoons. I guess the second platoon is the copy. Indeed, it is. So I'm just making sure. Oh, I forget. Let me take. Okay, it's a copy. We have also air defense element in both companies. So that's a air defense section, and that's a single Stinger with 4 rounds, traveling by M151 Jeep 4x4. Same for air defense elements for B company, I guess. Indeed, that's the same one. And also we have air defense section for our tank company. Okay. And the tank company consists of first HQ, and the HQ is two M1A1 Abrams and one M113A A1 APC. Okay, good to know. And then we have first platoon. Wait a second, no, I clicked on different units. Okay, and first platoon consists of four M1A1 Abramses. What kind of ammunition we have? We have 20 APs, armor piercing rounds, and 20 high explosives anti-tank rounds. Which means that we don't have just HE, high explosives rounds, against soft targets. Interesting. Oh really, we don't have them. Leopards were equipped with those. I didn't have them? Interesting. Anyway, let's see the second platoon. That's the copy, so I guess the third platoon is also copy. Indeed, it is. So we don't have high explosives rounds. Interesting. I thought we should have, but whatever. We have two types of ammunition against hard targets, which is fine. Of course, as I've mentioned before, air defense support. And then we have what's that? That's the scout section element. They are equipped with two Bradleys and also two cavalry scout. They are only equipped with M16 rifle and 40mm M203 grenade launcher. Bradley is equipped with TOW 2. Good to know. And we have two of those reconnaissance sections. Nice. We also have HQ. And HQ has, okay, also two Bradleys and two cavalry scout. Of course, I don't want HQ to be the first line, but looks like in that case it would make sense to use them as a unit, just like any other unit. And another thing, this is very confusing because it's exactly the same element as just standard scouts. Look at that. And here we have a section, but if you switch to HQ, it has the platoon symbol. And I don't know whether it's correct or not. Of course, the description says it's reconnaissance HQ section, but first of all, the counter picture is quite misleading. Uh, I suppose that that logo should be of HQ as you have in case of brigade, which is easier to differentiate HQ from other units. And also another thing is that it has symbol of platoon, which indicates that it should be the platoon size element, but in fact it is. If it had HQ here, that would make sense. It would mean that's the HQ of the platoon, and platoon consists of sections, like 3 sections, and that would make sense. But by having such a symbol here, and then those 3 bullet points, or bullets, or whatever, dots, it's quite misleading. So I don't know. I personally don't like it. It's quite confusing for me, but that's only me. Okay, so that would be it again about my HQ. Let's go to the last unit, and what's that? Oh, that's American Self-Propelled Artillery Company. 6 mortars, caliber 107 millimeters, 68 high explosives rounds, and 20 smokes per each vehicle, per each mortar. What's the range of that 107 millimeter? 6.8 kilometers. Okay, this is decent. But I do not expect too much from 107 millimeter. This is good for uh, lowering enemies' morale and also trying to suppress some targets if necessary. But other than that, against heavily armored targets, it's not very effective. Against soft targets, absolutely. But we'll find out how useful it will be during that scenario. And then of course we have also FARP. Uh, it will be provided in about 3 hours. And FARP is for American Helicopter Section, and that section consists of two AH-1F Cobras, and they are equipped with two TOW launchers, which gives me 8 rounds in total per Cobra, LAU-61 rocket, that's a medium high explosives rocket, and of course 20 millimeters auto cannon. The problem is that they are quite vulnerable targets for the enemy air defense, so I do not expect them to be of high value, but we'll find out. By the way, why does it say reinforcement at 15? When in scenario it said it was said that it's around 17. Let me find out. Where is that information? Where I can find it? Ops, mission briefing. An attack helicopter section will arrive at 1700. And here we have unit status, reinforcement at 1500. Mm-hmm. Personnel and logistics, reinforcement and withdrawals. Yeah, they will be around. Okay, FARP will show up at 1445, and the aviation element will show up in about 1500. At 1500. Yeah, okay. Quite misleading again, but that's fine. Let's assume it's completely fine. Okay, so that would be the overview of the map, of the scenario, the mission we are supposed to perform. Also, quick look on the available assets, available units, and its armament. And I think that would be it. We have around 32 minutes on my timer, so it's about time to end. So I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully see you in the next video where we will redeploy my units, and maybe if we have enough time we'll set up some basic SOPs for my units, but I guess it will take some time to find out perfect places for my units, and also what kind of mm, tactical plan we have for that battle, for that skirmish. So once again, for today that would be it. I hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.